Hi everyone, in this video I will show you how to connect your Java application to the database using Hibernate. So let's see. So open Eclipse and create a Maven project. Search for Maven project. Click on next. So write group ID here. I am writing com.jsp and artifact ID bytecode. So copy that and paste it in the name field. And click on finish. So our project is created. Now we need to add two dependencies in pom.xml file. One is for driver software and another is for the Hibernate. So I had already added that in another file, so I will just copy and paste it over here. So here we see Maven dependencies folder. That means we successfully added the dependencies. Now we need to add persistence file inside a folder. First I will create meta inf folder. Inside that folder I will gonna add the persistence file. Inside this file we have to write the information about our database like URL, username, password, the database name, etc. Now let's create packages and add classes. First, I will create a database. So open pgadmin, right click on database, create database. Write your database name and click on save. So our database is created here. Now go on the Eclipse. So now here we need to change the database name in persistence file. So inside this entity class, I will gonna add the information which I want into my database. For example, the table, column name, etc. So here I did a mistake. We have to write @entity annotation there. I have added it later, but I forgot to record it. So these private variables will act as the columns in our database. Now I want that ID as a primary key. So I will add @ID annotation. So it will act as a primary key. So we can have n number of parameterized constructor, but entity class should have either default constructor or no argument constructor. So add that. Now I will generate getters and setters because the variables are private. To access them, we need to add getters and setters. So this file is done. Now go to the driver class. So the class which have main method is known as the driver class. First we need to call the create entity manager factory method. This method is present in persistence class. So this method will read persistence.xml file and it will uses the database credentials like URL, username and password, and it will help us to establish connection between the Java application and the database. And it will take string as an argument where we will pass the persistence unit name. And this method will return the object of entity manager factory, which is an interface present in javax.persistence package. Now we need to call create entity manager method, which is present inside entity manager factory interface. We will take the help of the reference to call that method. And it will return the object of entity manager, which is an interface present in javax.persistence package. So Hibernate will provide predefined method to perform CRUD operation, and all those methods are present inside this entity manager interface. And now we need to call the get transaction method, which is an abstract method present in entity manager interface. It will help us to create the object of entity transaction. So in Hibernate, if we want to do any transactions like insert, update or delete, then first we need to enable the transaction, because in Hibernate by default transaction is disabled. So if we want to enable that transaction, then Hibernate will provide predefined methods, and all that methods are present in entity transaction interface. Now I will create the object of my entity class, and I will pass the argument. So begin method will help us to begin the transaction, and the commit method will help us to make the permanent changes in database. Inside these methods we will call the persist method, and we will pass the entity object. It will perform insert operation on database. So let's run and see our values are inserted into our table or not. So go on pgadmin and check. So here we successfully added the values. Thank you.